show where we have candid conversations about finding joy and motivation in everyday life. I'm way underqualified and overpassionate to talk about all things building a life that you love. I think one of the best ways to start is by having conversations and listening to the people around you. Joining me today to discuss the complexities, skill, and emotional havoc of modern gift giving is Grammy-nominated 3-time COVID survivor and master underwater welder, my friend and co-host, Rebecca C.
Cue applause. Hey guys!
Are there any public service announcements or public apologies that you would like to make?
Public service announcement. I never had COVID. And for whoever started the rumor in college that I was a super spreader, you're fake.
You will be dealt with.
And you would, and this, I'm clearing it up right now because I did post a picture of my negative results.
You did.
On my real social
medias. You went full government with that whole thing.
Exactly, and just to make this clear, I was never a super spreader. I actually never tested positive, and I tested every week since COVID started because I worked in a school system.
Oh, and then you were
I was getting double tested.
Your nose was just double teamed all fall semester.
Oh.
PSA to anybody that works in marketing, as reminded by Rebecca C., nothing's an emergency, nothing's life-threatening, and it's just like a really positive public service announcement of that we clock in, we do our job, we're good at it, we're boss babes, and then we leave, and we leave it.
And I think that's a good reminder for yourself.
Exactly. Well, and I feel like sometimes we get so into our lanes and what we do that it's hard to get that context of, oh wait, I'm literally talking about, an Instagram post.
A spreadsheet.
Big question of the week and why I wanted you on the show is to talk about why do we gift? Because we're coming up on the holiday season.
Correct.
We blew past Thanksgiving, screaming into Christmas.
Yeah.
Gifting is happening.
First of all,
okay.
My love language. So not my love language like how I show love, but how I accept love is presents. And that's because I'm an only child and I don't know, I feel like it's a way of showing affection. It's a way of, and when I say presents, I don't mean that I need a brand new car or something really expensive. Presents to me are this made me think of you, and this is this, and you so can
it's
show
it's a full scale of gifting.
Exactly. And so even how offices send holiday gifts, and just sometimes a card of appreciation around the holidays is it goes a long way. Or
even, but think about that, of a card of just, if it was somebody sent you a card and was thinking of you, that would mean something.
It means something because you hold a place in their thoughts and in their hearts. And I think gifts are a great thing. I don't think there should be a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah.
Especially if you are coming from the angle of it's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
But if your value is in
the monetary,
the actual physical gift itself, then that's your motive.
Between you and the Lord.
That's between you and whoever's getting you a present. Because
and I hope their wallet agrees
exactly.
with you.
So somebody needs to talk to my mom about that.
But I think with gifting and that pressure, it made me think about who sets the rules of this is how you gift, this is the frequency, the value of your gift. It just all of a sudden it seems so strange to think about we have these set rules that you have to follow. And if you don't follow them, you're a bad person.
Then you look crappy.
But at the same time, I subscribe to those beliefs. I feel them.
Yeah. And I think if we want to get historical and
history moment.
Yeah, history moment, it probably stems a lot from religion.
Sure.
Because
even the 3 wise men were out here dragging their kinglessies.
But think about
across
it.
The desert.
He got 3 presents.
And good ones.
And
gold, frankincense,
and myrrh.
All expensive stuff.
All the bougie stuff.
So I went on the Goog.
Yeah.
And it says that the ancient tradition of gift giving can be traced as far back as cavemen. It was an important part of their communities, particularly for establishing dominance, being respected, and starting a family. leaders of tribes would often give gifts to a person who had accomplished something great for their tribe. So it was like an incentive program to do well.
Or they accomplished something great for a mass amount of people. True. And so those people then, their followers, they're those gifts are like crowning a king. Like crowning a leader, like there is your gift. Here you are now the leader, and here's your presence and your glory and your fortune.
It was interesting because that made me. I hadn't thought about gift giving from the perspective of establishing dominance.
True, and also when you think about it, the person that gets the most gifts at the company is the boss.
Facts. Mm-hmm. So speeding it up to today, we often give gifts to reconfirm or establish our connection with others, like you were saying, which means that they're a reflection of both the giver and the receiver as well as their unique relationship. Giving a gift to someone we care about allows us to communicate our feelings and appreciation to them.
True.
So it's so interesting of that we're not cavemen anymore. We're not bringing cows to ask somebody to marry us. Sadly. And I like that with your point about how it signifies something in your relationship. It's a reflection of your relationship and what you mean to each other. And so it could be, an office gift would be a nice pen or something, whereas a gift to you could be
something more personal. And like I know some people are just like that's not their forte.
Yeah.
And sometimes some people don't have the means to get what they would want to get you. Mm-hmm. Right?
I would get so many people the moon if I could.
Exactly. Like you can't, there's a lot of things that like are unobtainable for other reasons.
So earlier you said that your love language is gifts. Do you, and you were saying that you enjoy receiving them, but do you also get that same feeling from giving them?
It depends if it's good. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes like we're not perfect. Like I've hit walls before when it comes to gifts, and like I'm hitting one right now with my own mother.
So I really get so uncomfortable receiving gifts.
Oh, that was your original question. We kind of went off track.
No, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
No.
But you get uncomfortable receiving.
I get so uncomfy receiving gifts, but I love giving them to other people.
Yeah. I don't know. If it's good, and I'm excited, and I want to see them open it, and I'm really, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, like, if it's just, like, a Secret Santa gift, or if it's an office gift that I pitched into, I'm kind of just like, okay, like, I'm glad they know that the thought counts, and then, like,
name is on the card, we're good to go.
We're good to go. So, what makes you uncomfortable, though, about receiving the gifts? Do you think that, like, your reaction needs to be, like, perfect, or?
I feel an expectation of how I need to react to the gift, of that this person put effort and time and money into this, and it's what if my reaction is off, which I'm probably showing way too many of my cards, like that probably isn't healthy, and I know I need to work on that.
Or just as simple, like, as long as you show your appreciation, and like also that's the whole thing about exchanging gifts.
Yeah.
Your appreciation for your gift is in another. I don't get uncomfortable receiving gifts, or that's not the feeling I get. But there was this one time when I was younger and I didn't really understand the concept of, just being thankful that somebody thought of you and spent their money on you. And I want to say like second grade.
Okay.
And I was really...
That's still forgivable years.
Yeah. Completely forgivable. We laugh about it now. Shout out Aunt Gay. She gave me this like huge box. I opened it up, and it was a matching pair of jeans and a jean jacket. And it had the jeans and the jean jacket had a pink fur lining at like the bottom cuff of the jean. Ooh. The jeans had like...
Wait, this sounds so like stylish.
Yeah, the jeans had like bedazzled stars on them, very Hannah Montana. The jacket was basically like the same thing with like the line of the sleeves and the collar. And I fully looked at it and looked at my mom and then looked at my aunt, and everyone's expecting me to be like, thank you, at least.
At the very least.
I said, I hate it. And I
Here's
was
the thing. I want to now find that set for you to wear now.
And I would totally kill it. What about you? Do you have any bad ones?
And we're just going to say that it was in the rough ballpark of mid to late high school.
High school? Okay.
Yeah. We live all across the country, and so our aunts and uncles would send us gifts in the mail.
Yes.
And they would have little name tags on them, and they'd be picked out for us, and they would be already wrapped.
Mm-hmm.
Like they put a lot of time and effort into that.
And they shipped it to you too. They didn't just bring it to a house; they like sent it into the mail.
And I don't have a history of opening gifts. I really don't. But like this aunt and uncle, they know how to gift. Like they do it well.
They step up.
And this so I looked at all of the gifts and I picked the best one and put my name tag on it. And here's the thing, I felt so guilty. I couldn't even enjoy it. It was awful. It was so bad.
Do you remember
on Christmas
what it was?
Morning, it was this beautiful, you know those eggs that it's like the carving and the wax, and it was like this traditional set, which is very crafty, very me.
True. Well, what did whose was it?
It was meant for my sister.
And then what was your gift?
Like a electrical engineering switchboard thing.
Which is still a very like
super cool gift.
Present, but
I want to be etching eggs.
So your sister got an electrical engineering
and loved it.
Okay.
Loved it.
So
she also did half of her career at like an engineering heavy school.
Okay. So it's because of that then.
And maybe why I'm artsy.
Maybe one that you came clean. I'm glad. Did you ever come clean? Did you tell?
Not to my sister.
Or did you tell like your mom or your aunt? So this is the first time you're telling.
This is
You're broadcasting it.
I'm broadcasting it. This is publicly. So Abs, if you're listening.
My bad.
Sorry, Miss Girl.
You know what?
Christmas 2015. I took your gift.
But I don't think I've ever felt that I have a similar guilt feeling. But so for the listeners, I'm an only child. There was no switching of the gifts. All of the gifts were mine.
This was understood.
This was an understood assignment. And Christmas was beautiful growing up. And my mom loves the stockings. She got these stockings for us, like handmade. Oh my God, they're gorgeous. And they're velvet. You'll see them. They're really good. And we all have our own stocking. They hung on like the mantle place. And so I remember that was the year that everyone was getting phones. And I was like the last one to get one because my parents didn't think I needed one until I was left at swim practice. Anyway. Yeah. So I like had a really strong feeling that I was getting a phone, but I also had a strong feeling that like my parents were going to make me wait longer.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to make sure like I really deserved it and like I was going to take...
felt that responsibility.
Exactly. Like the responsibility. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
But... And, you know, kids wake up before their parents on Christmas because it's Christmas and you're excited. Instead of immediately waking up my parents to go, to go open presents with them, I went downstairs to scope out. Because, my parents did wait until, the wee hours to put the presents out.
Yeah.
And I went downstairs to, scope it out to see, if anything was in the shape of a box. And I was, really, really disappointed. And then something told me when I was turning around to go back upstairs and pretend that I had just gotten up to check the stocking. And I stuck my hand down there. No. And at the very last, so it was the toe, so the first present in, the last one out. And keep in mind my stocking is the last thing to be opened, was a brand new slidey cell phone. The weird slidey cell phone that everybody wanted. And I was ecstatic that I had gotten it.
Yeah.
But
it's so funny how quickly I
didn't realize this until later. Well, so we came downstairs with the parents. I pretended to go back to sleep. Pretended that I was not awake and then was waking my parents up for the first time. And ran downstairs. My mom always said, you need to believe to receive.
Okay.
So I was fully into this.
You were believing.
I'm still believing, baby. And I immediately gunned for the stocking. It's tradition that it's opened last. And I immediately went for the stocking. And my mom was like, you know that's last. Come on, don't be silly. And she didn't catch on. Oh. But I was pissy up until...
Of getting through all of the
I'm I don't care about any of these other things that my mom spent time and money picking out.
Yeah.
To just get to the cell phone to text one friend. Shout out Katie, you were the first person I texted off of that phone. So I think that was the most guilty present experience.
And it's so funny because you think that it's gonna make you so happy.
Yeah, until you ruin it for yourself.
And then it doesn't.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not putting anything out. Mm-mm. And my kids are never going to know what I get them. I'm going to be like, maybe ask Santa, I don't know.
Like, try.
Try again. Like, what's like one really good present?
Ooh.
That like you think that you might still like think about, or somebody gave you a present that you're like, okay. They didn't have to do that, and they know that was like something that I wanted, or
Best gift I ever received when John bought my textbooks for my first degree and made sure that I always had textbooks for school. It was very, very sweet, and he definitely didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
But it was one of the most pivotal gifts I've ever gotten, of like somebody believing really hardcore in me that didn't need to believe in me.
True. My stepmother is a phenomenal gift giver, and I think when like the first present she got me that like actually was like, oh, that's something I actually like, was kind of more of like, okay, she does knows. Pay attention, and she knows.
Yeah.
And she's also really good at getting my dad to spend money.
Shout out
Eileen. But I think, I don't know, one of the best presents that's been given to me, and like I appreciate everything that has been given to me and handed to me by the people in my life. Mm-hmm. But
it's interesting too, of like each year growing up, there is that kind of one hero gift or the big gift every year, and you look forward to like these things of like iPads or phones or stuff. And like the real ringer. And then you end up here in your early 20s and you're like, oh wait, the gifts that actually meant something to me were the silly, stupid stuff.
The ones that like really, well...
Or the weird mug that you got in freshman year.
Yeah, that you're like, ugh. But my mom gave me a copy of Oh, the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. And she used to read it to me. And she gave it to me for high school graduation. She wrote a note on the front cover. And then for college graduation, she wrote a note on the back cover.
Wait.
And then gave it to me.
That's so thoughtful.
Yeah. It was, and I'm gonna keep it with, and she also hand wrote me a like 12-page handwritten on lined notebook paper letter. And she gave it to me the day before I moved in, the night before I moved into college. And like put it in an envelope, so I have it in like a vacuum sealed Ziploc bag.
It's not going anywhere.
It's not, it is safe at home in Connecticut, like tucked away.
Good.
With like a little more sentimental stuff. But like those two things like combined, I think were like...
Those are powerful gifts.
Yes. I was going to say very like emotionally driven.
And here's the thing, looping it all the way back to the start. In reality, that's a book with markings in it that you really couldn't sell.
No, and nobody would want to buy it because it doesn't mean anything to them.
And yet it is like
but it
the
means
best
so much
gift.
to me. Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I think the emotional ones, and also some of the best gifts are what you wouldn't get yourself.
Yes.
Like, I can't go to this, or not that I can't go to the store, but I won't go to the store and I need it. Or that that's going to make my life better, or that that's something I'm going to use every day, or that's something that would affect my life positively.
The little helpful stuff. And like, the example I always think about is a 10-foot phone cord. People hardly buy it for themselves.
But when they get it as a present,
they use it and love it.
And exactly. And now that I'm thinking about this, I'm going to get my mom a pair of jeans.
Look at us go.
Because I hate the jeans she wears.
Thank you guys so much for listening to the Downright Happy Podcast. I'm your host, Will Foster. You can find this show on all streaming platforms, including Instagram and TikTok, under Daily Foster. Thank you, Bex, for joining again.
Anytime.
We will talk to you next week.
Next week it is.
Please remember this week, be kind, be loved, and give good gifts.
I'm going to say, be Santa.
Be Santa. Santa, baby.